Welcome back, everybody. Ready for another deep dive?
I am always up for it.
This one's a little different.
Yeah.
This one is taking us into the mind of a game designer, Reactorcore,
Okay.
and we're looking at this document that they've put together called "My View on the Universe: Life and Death PT2."
Catchy title.
It is, but
Right to the point.
But it's not like a typical, game
Right,
design
like
document.
yeah.
It's like more philosophical.
Yeah.
It's their own personal musings on like
Personal
life and death and
quest
the universe.
Yeah.
And then get this, they tie it all into how they design games.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
And we often see games as this kind of escape from reality, right?
Right.
But they're kind of blurring those lines a little bit.
Yeah.
Using games to explore these really kind of profound questions.
That's exactly it.
Wow.
And one of the biggest questions they're looking at is this idea of the soul. And Reactorcore, they believe that souls are immortal
Interesting.
and that they inhabit physical bodies.
Right.
Specifically, they talk about how they latch onto the spine, brain, and nervous system.
Okay.
But then here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
They ask this question. Does a single body house multiple souls? Or are new souls created as,
as the population grows?
Yeah, the population grows, exactly.
Wow, that's a question that a lot of different spiritual traditions have looked at for centuries, right?
Right.
I mean, it challenges some of our assumptions about what,
like what even is
individuality
and consciousness.
Yeah, like what does that even mean?
Right.
Really gets at the core of it.
It really does. And Reactorcore even brings up this concept of tulpas.
Tulpas?
Yeah, have you heard of this?
Vaguely.
Okay.
Refresh my memory.
Essentially, it's like this imaginary companion that someone intentionally creates and cultivates in their own mind.
Okay.
And some people believe that they can actually develop these tulpas into like really complex entities that have their own, personality.
Full-blown personality.
Yeah. And even like agency, their own,
Okay, so this is like walking the line between psychology.
It really is.
And maybe even metaphysics a little bit.
Right.
I mean, if tulpas are real, it could suggest that consciousness isn't as straightforward as we think, right?
Yeah.
It's not just this one thing.
Yeah, it could be multifaceted,
Could be, yeah, exactly, yeah.
And it raises even more questions than about the nature of the soul and the soul relationship to the physical body. All right, so are you ready to maybe shift in your seat a little bit uncomfortably?
No, always ready for the ride.
Yeah. All right, so here's the thing.
Okay.
Reactorcore believes that death is a total reset.
What do you mean by that?
So everything associated with your current life.
Right.
Knowledge, memories, skills.
Okay.
Even your personality.
Whoa. Poof. It's all gone.
It's all gone, yeah.
That's a pretty stark contrast to, I think, how a lot of people think about death, right?
Right. I mean, we have a lot of
we have these ideas of afterlife.
Yeah.
Or that some part of you continues on.
Exactly. But they're suggesting
this is like
the complete reboot.
The hard reset.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
And to take it even further.
Okay, yeah, further, right.
They believe you could be reborn into any circumstance.
Anything.
Any time period, different place, different species.
Different species.
Even, there are no guarantees of anything.
A comfortable or even
like a human existence.
Okay, so you could go from a life of, relative privilege to something totally different.
Completely different, yeah.
Wow.
So I think this is where it gets really interesting philosophically. Like, if we really believe...
If this is true,
that death is a total reset, no guarantee of,
like a better situation next time.
A better life next time.
Yeah.
How does that affect...
Like, how does that change the way you think about things?
Your choices and actions in this life.
In this life, yeah, right?
Does it make you more reckless?
Right.
More cautious?
Or does it just... like underscore how precious and important this moment is.
Right. And it seems like Reactorcore is kind of
leaning towards that.
Yeah, they are leaning towards that preciousness idea.
Yeah.
They talk about how this concept motivates them to, make the most of this life, to focus on their health. Act a positive impact. And be kind to others.
That makes sense.
And they even suggest that small acts of kindness could somehow influence their next existence.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's almost like they're viewing life as this...
like a series of connected games where the choices you make in one can have consequences in the next.
Exactly. And that leads us perfectly into how these ideas show up in their...
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, in their game design.
Right, because games have their own ways of dealing with death, don't they?
They do.
You know, respawning, save points, loading screens. It's all about,
kind of.
You know, lessening the impact of dying in the game.
And in most games, death is really just like...
a temporary setback, right?
It's a setback.
You learn from it.
A learning experience.
Or it can even be like, you know...
or even fun.
Part of the fun, right?
But Reactorcore sees those mechanics as... you know,
it's kind of artificial. Yeah, breaking the immersion a little bit.
Right. Yeah.
And lessening the way of your choices.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
So that's where we'll pick things up and explore how Reactorcore's philosophy translates into game design.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
So if those traditional game mechanics...
around death.
Around death are off the table. Like, what does Reactorcore put in their place?
Well, it's a pretty radical departure.
Okay.
You know, in their games, death has real lasting consequences.
Okay.
It's a reflection of that total reset idea we were talking about.
Right.
There's no save scumming.
Right.
You know, no conveniently placed checkpoints.
No.
When your character dies.
That's it?
That's it. That's it for that life.
Okay.
But here's the twist.
All right.
It's not game over.
Oh, okay.
Right. The soul, that immortal essence, according to Reactorcore, it doesn't just vanish.
Okay.
It's reborn into a new body within the game world.
So it's starting a new life.
Essentially.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
And this is where it gets really intriguing from a game design perspective.
Okay.
You see, players lose all the skills and abilities they developed.
From that previous life?
In that previous life, yeah.
Okay.
But crucially, they retain the knowledge they've gained about the game world itself.
Oh, that's interesting.
So the lore, the secrets, the layout of the land, the strategies that worked, all that carries over.
So it's almost like inheriting a guidebook.
Yeah, like a guidebook.
From your past self.
Exactly.
But having to start over, you know.
But physically.
Physically, yeah. I can see how that would create a totally different experience.
Well, a totally different approach to playing.
Yeah.
Reactorcore calls this a persistent universe.
Okay.
One where actions have true weight.
Yeah.
And your past lives can impact your future ones.
Interesting.
And it encourages
a strategy,
a very different kind of strategy.
Yeah.
One that extends beyond the immediate goal of just like winning a particular encounter.
So instead of like grinding for levels or hoarding the best gear.
Exactly. You're also trying to gather knowledge that will benefit
future use.
Yeah. Future incarnations, almost like.
Yeah. Like building a legacy across multiple lifetimes.
Precisely.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
And this leads to some really innovative mechanics.
Okay.
You know, for example, in one of their projects, players can leave behind messages.
Oh, wow.
For their future self.
For the future selves. Wow. Yeah, hidden within the game world.
Okay.
So it's almost like passing down
like a
family secret.
Yeah.
Or a hidden treasure map.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
It makes me think about those stories where people claim to have memories from past lives, you know?
Yeah.
Could it be something like that?
It's a fascinating thought, isn't it? And it really highlights the philosophical underpinnings of Reactorcore's work.
Yeah.
I mean, they're blurring the lines between the virtual
kind of and the real. Yeah.
Using game design as a way to explore these questions about consciousness, identity, and the nature of reality itself.
It's definitely making me rethink the way I approach games.
Yeah,
usually it's all about like
instant gratification,
mastering those mechanics
to
get that dopamine hit.
Yeah, that dopamine hit.
But this sounds like a much longer game, you know?
It is
one that rewards
it's a longer game,
patience, strategy,
and
even a little bit of like philosophical reflection.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's that's one of the things that sets Reactorcore's work apart. It's not just about entertainment.
Right.
It's about
something more.
Yeah, it's about using this medium to challenge our assumptions, to provoke thought, to create an experience that
resonates.
that resonates on a deeper level.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so with all this talk about, death and rebirth
in the game world.
Yeah. How does Reactorcore connect those ideas to
the real world?
To the real world, yeah.
Right.
Do they see any parallels?
They do, and this is where the concept of evolution comes in.
Okay, I'm intrigued. How does that work?
Well, think about it like this. In Reactorcore's games, each new generation of characters inherits the knowledge of their predecessors.
Okay.
Even though their individual skills and experiences are reset.
Yeah.
And in a similar way, each generation in the real world inherits a slightly improved cheat sheet.
Oh, okay.
For survival in the form of their genetic code.
So we're all carrying forward the lessons learned by those who came before us.
Exactly.
Encoded in our DNA. Yeah. Like we're all part of this.
It's like we're all playing this grand ongoing
game of evolution.
Yeah,
constantly adapting and evolving based on the experiences of past generations.
Exactly.
That's a really interesting way to look at it.
And that raises another intriguing question.
Okay.
If we view life through this lens as a series of interconnected games, where each generation builds upon
the knowledge
of the past. Yeah. What are the implications for our understanding of progress?
Oh, that's deep.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it linear?
Yeah.
Is it cyclical?
Yeah.
Is it something else entirely?
It's like they're taking all these complex philosophical ideas and making them like tangible, playable. Yeah.
And that's the power of good game design.
Right.
It can be a powerful tool for exploration, for pushing the boundaries of our understanding, for prompting us to ask questions we might never have considered otherwise.
I think our listeners are definitely going to be considering some big questions after this.
I think so too, yeah.
It's really striking how Reactorcore's ideas are. So philosophical, but they have these
real world
illustrations. Implications.
And not just abstract thinking, right?
No.
It's about how we actually
live our lives,
Yeah, live our lives. That's what makes it so
compelling.
Yeah, compelling. Exactly.
So, I mean, if we really embrace this idea of death as this reset button, does it change how we approach risk taking? Yeah. Do we become bolder thinking, well,
like if I mess up,
I get a do-over.
I get another shot.
Yeah.
Or does it,
or does it make us more
cautious, more aware of the weight of each decision?
Right, because this is all we've got.
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah, it could really go either way, right?
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
There's no one right answer.
Yeah.
It's a personal challenge.
Yeah.
To examine your own values.
Yeah.
Your own motivations.
If this life is all we've got.
Yeah.
What matters most?
What matters most?
How do we want to spend
spend
our time?
Yeah.
Spend our energy. Exactly.
And it's not just about, individual choices, right?
No, that's right.
Like Reactorcore's games really highlight that interconnectedness.
Yeah, like
the knowledge passed down.
The impact of past lives.
Right.
Like we're all part of this
grand evolving
narrative. I like that, which is honestly kind of
a relief in a way.
Yeah, a little bit of a relief.
In a world that can feel so focused on, individual achievement.
Yeah.
And instant gratification.
Right.
Like me, all the time.
Yeah, what about me?
Yeah, what about me?
What about me?
Exactly.
Okay, so let's bring this back to the listener for a moment.
Right.
We've unpacked a lot about,
Reactorcore
and their perspective on the soul.
Right. Death, rebirth.
The games.
But what does it all mean?
Yeah, what does it mean for you listening right now? Yeah. What does it mean for you?
I think the most valuable thing to take away is this invitation to question,
question our assumptions.
About everything.
Yeah.
About life, about death, about,
Yeah, about everything.
About reality.
Like, what if we approached life with a bit more of that.
That persistent universe.
Persistent universe, yeah.
Mentality.
Yeah, like how would that change?
How would that change?
Our decisions.
Our decisions, our relationship.
Yeah, even our sense of purpose.
Right, yeah, our understanding of...
Yeah, of why we're here.
Why we're here, exactly.
It's a really powerful prompt.
It is.
Yeah, for self-reflection.
Absolutely.
And to take it even a step further,
okay.
Reactorcore's work, it kind of makes us think about...
Legacy, yeah,
and not just in terms of...
Right, not just like money or...
Yeah, like material things.
Yeah, material possessions.
But in terms of, like...
Knowledge.
Kindness.
Kindness, the impact we have on...
The impact we have on others.
Yeah, on other people, and that leads us to...
Make a final thought?
Yeah, maybe a little unsettling thought.
Okay, all right, I'm ready.
All right, so... If we were to embrace this concept of death as a reset, losing everything we've accumulated in this life, what one thing would be most valuable to carry forward
into that unknown
next existence?
Ooh, that's a good one.
It's a question to ponder.
Yeah.
It really cuts to the core of
what matters, what truly matters.
Yeah, maybe it's a skill. A piece of wisdom.
A piece of wisdom.
A really profound connection.
A connection, yeah.
Something that goes beyond the material.
It transcends the material.
And goes with us into that great unknown.
It's a question with no easy answers.
Right.
But just asking it can really illuminate our values.
Yeah.
And our priorities.
In a way that few other questions can.
Exactly.
So there you have it.
That's our deep dive.
Our deep dive into the mind of Reactorcore. A game designer who's blending, philosophy with pixels.
Yeah, to create these experiences that
challenge us.
And
inspire us.
We encourage you to explore their work further.
Absolutely.
And maybe, just maybe, ask yourself that final question.
What would you carry forward?